Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year, and Lahai-Roi is here. Oh my goodness, it is super duper exciting to finally be at the end of the year, and we are seeing where Wuthering Waves is going to be taking us next for not only the story but also the new region. And today we have five new drip marketed characters and a teaser trailer for the region. So you know, I'm gonna go ahead and analyze all of it so you don't have to. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's just dive right into what we have here. Dude, I am so excited to see you know what we have here. It's amazing, bro, to finally be here, you know, after an entire year and not much downtime between the other patches, you know, to get started on a new region already. So again, we have a lot to cover, so you know, I'll try to, you know, keep it relatively brief, but you know, give a lot of what we can grab out of this stuff, because the drip marketing is a lot. There's so much to look at, you know, in general. So we're gonna watch the trailer at the end though, because I do believe that I will have better context, you know, as we look through these characters first and whatnot. So let's go ahead and jump in. There's also not in posted order because the original, you know, like Rinascita drip marketing had the characters kind of in order of the sorts to make a sentence. This time it doesn't. Everyone sort of has some sort of aspect about them that means something to them, so we're gonna do it that way. But let's go ahead and get started with, I think, is the most popular character in here, Should Rainbow Spill, and I believe her name was, let me see here, what is it? We're gonna see in just a moment. My god, yeah, we get a little extra of the character. This is LYNAE, I think, right? Yeah, because we have the Y there. We can go and flip over to the other side. You know, already, you know, this one doesn't tell us too much. I think the other ones tell us a little more, but let's go ahead and flip over real quick. LYNAE. Okay. Yeah, I'm not quite, what is it? Familiar with this kind of text style then, but here we go. This is LYNAE. What is it? And we take a look at her design real quick. I mean, off rip. What is it? We got blonde, what is it, we got, you know, casual coat, what is it, a little bit of punk rock, what is it, in there. And that's, I think, I mean, like, this character is gonna sell a bajillion copies, man. My goodness, like, she's gonna be everywhere, bro, and I'm all for it. I think I would probably pull her immediately. So, you know, everyone else, you know, kind of in the region so far is very sciencey. You know, this is obviously probably one of the students at the academy, you know, which makes a lot of sense because Chisa, you know, very much takes on similar motifs. Of course, Chisa goes for a traditional style of school clothing, and you know, LYNAE is a little more, you know, abstract, a little more punk rock. And I do love, you know, the swirling graffiti art of sorts. And I do hope this is actually something that gets integrated into their design, because you know, graffiti art is super duper cool, and they can be done in so many good ways. You know, Street Fighter, you know, has done a really good job with their graffiti character recently, so that's pretty cool. And the tagline for LYNAE, also, I will take a note of this, her task mark is on the back of her thigh, but you know, the tagline for LYNAE is "Should that rainbow spill." So you know, she's probably you know, a little bit of a rebel, probably the first person we're gonna meet, I would suspect. You know, it's probably another student, but you know, outside of that, I mean, shoot, man, this is the most popular character. That rainbow bismuth, rainbow colored bismuth style jacket on the inside, usually made out of foil, super duper nice, bro. What is it? I like her a lot. So let's go ahead and move on to the next character. There's also a barcode there. What is it? Not too noteworthy though. Move on to the next character. Should that molten gold drip? We have a male character, chat. Oh my goodness. And there he is. I like his design a lot. He's probably also another one where I'm like, yeah, I think I would pull for this character of the sorts. And it is Luke Herssen, I believe I have that one right. Actually, let's go ahead and flip over. Yeah, Luke, what is it, Herssen, or it should be Herssen. What is it? So it's probably a little flatter on the S. What is it? But yeah, his design is great. I really like his stuff, because you know, this reminds me of everyone saying Adventurine just because he has a little bit of light blue and blonde, but he reminds me of, you know, the guys from Stronova. Actually, he has the same you know, hairstyle with like a little longer in the back, not necessarily you know, long hair all the way down, but I like his stuff. He's absolutely probably some sort of academy professor or researcher, you know, and the design motifs being DNA is super duper cool. You know, DNA strands are always a really cool thing that you can mess with the design. You know, Ruan Mei you know, does an okay job at it. She doesn't use it a lot in her attacks, but hopefully this guy, especially because Wuwa loves their particle effects, DNA would be a really cool you know, thing to mess with. I think you can, you know, do some like helix laser beams and whatnot. That's awesome. You know, if we want to take a look at his gear, this is actually a really good thing I haven't really been talking about, you know, in the main Woo-Wah shenanigans. But Rover has a lot of tactical gear on them that I don't think people really point out. But here, you know, we probably have like the cassette holder or the echo, what is it, echo terminal, and then we also have, you know, 2 test tubes, and then also, you know, his ID card, which, you know, hey, we have one too now, so that's awesome. And then just some DNA charm, whatnot, and of course the DNA belt. The DNA belt is fire, bro. And then we, you know, anyway, yeah, no, but this is pretty cool. I really do like his design. It's very sleek, modest, you know, cool, what is it, etc. And the only things I want to mention is that it's really nice to be changing from the aesthetic of Rinascita, which, I mean, obviously it's amazing, but Rinascita is about bold, colorful, and expressive designs, being, you know, the city of art and also the city of gladiating as well. So you see all these colorful designs, you know, pretty dresses, you know, open bare shirts, etc. Like, it's very, very out there. But, you know, now that we're in Lahai-Roi, you know, the underground research institute, you know, buried by snow, you know, everyone has this unifying pattern of white, but also, you know, very, you know, much more casual, or not casual, but I would say, like, what is it, more you know, modest clothing to keep up with the climate. But anyway, back to Luke himself. Yeah, I really do like what he has, and his tagline is actually very interesting: should that molten gold drip. So obviously this is very in line, you know, pointing towards that he is some sort of alchemist, some sort of researcher, because, you know, gold is part of that alchemical process. You know, those who play Genshin are very, very familiar with it, you know, in terms of being applied to a fantasy setting. You know, that's gonna kind of be his deal, and I hope that's the case. You know, I hope he's a very inventive, what is it, a very scientifically attuned individual, and he uses that kind of stuff in his combat. I would love it. I've always said this for a lot of games. Throwing potions, kind of like Minecraft, is kind of like one of the coolest things you can do of the sort. Luke could probably deconstruct, what is it, like the DNA of, like, what is it, of organic beings, maybe like echoes. Be a little weird because they're frequencies, but regardless, look, definitely I do love what we have here with him. So moving on to our next character, should that spark a guide. Let's take a look here. Oh, we got a film reel. Oh yeah, this character also selling 1 billion copies. Oh my goodness. What is it? Very nice, very nice. So this is Lucilla, I believe. Let me just check here. Yeah, this is Lucilla. What is it? And dang, bro, what is it? The purple hair is so bold, I believe. Is this our purple whoa, is this our first purple character what is in the game? Because Roshi is obviously there, but Roshi has got, like, you know, like kind of like a twin tail, like, blue situation. It's more of her outfit is a blue. We do also have Cantarella, but Cantarella is also very, very different in terms of her presentation. You know, Lucilla, you know, brings, you know, that modern flair that we haven't had in Woo-Wah for a little bit. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, hottest waifu 3.0, hands down, instant pull. I'd have to see. You know, I think I like her design, you know, pretty effectively speaking. But if we want to talk a little closer about it, first off, the film reel is really interesting. You know, we've had the film festival going on, the Solaris Film Festival, and that's kind of been a big deal, and we're really wondering who that girl is in the thing. So maybe she could be tied into something of that sort, but it'll be interesting to see how much this actually integrates into her character. You know, it's very important to me that I think this design motifs that they put in and iconography for characters actually feeds through, because outside of the film reel in the back, you know, outside of kind of looking like low-key like a Hollywood star, you know, I'm not really seeing too much else that really defines it, you know, for the most part. We've got our bag, what is it, it got a fancy, what is it, you know, fancy like top with the zipper straps, what is it, and whatnot, which is actually, it's such a cool design. ID card as well, so that's really cool. It's actually interesting because I believe LYNAE, does she have an ID card? She doesn't have an ID card, so she's you can probably tell, you know, from the context clues that Lucilla is probably you know, maybe a higher ranking, you know, professor. Maybe she's a creative arts professor of the sort at the academy at Startorch, so that's going to be pretty cool. What is it? But otherwise, he also has, you know, minor space themes of sorts, which a lot of these characters do, I would say. But, you know, the underside of her hat, you know, reflects the galaxies. These, you know, earrings, while not necessarily space motif specific, they do feel like moon drops, what is it, of the sort. And then she has, you know, some star emblems as well. Hey guys, look, she's a 3-star, haha. No, what is it? And then we got a yellow ribbon to top it off. So really, really solid design, honestly. This person looks like, honestly, they look like they're straight out of Coachella, bro. Like, it's pretty hype. what is it, but a super well put together design. And her tagline is, should that spark guide? And I have to imagine that she's you know, just early, very early assumptions, probably, you know, a professor with like, you know, a lot of things going on up in there, but mostly probably in the creative arts section, and she's probably going to be about creativity and whatnot in this sort of academy. So moving on to our fourth character, should that expectation overflow? This one is definitely far more different than everyone else, and we'll talk about that a lot more in the minute. We also know you know, for our last character, there was no tacit mark visible. What is it? It's only been LYNAE that actually has one, but this one is Sigrika. Sigrika. I just want to say Sigrika. That could also be it. I don't know. Someone's gonna have to correct me in the comments. You can absolutely correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because you know, when it comes to namings and how they do namings in these games, I'm actually not very good at it, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, this one I'm pointing out is the most different because she what is it, clearly looks like she has some form of cybernetic enhancements inside her ordeal, you know, kind of like, hey, Rebecca from Cyberpunk, that collab that's coming soon, you know what I mean? But you know, her design is way more casual than the other stuff, and she doesn't really give the vibes of, you know, someone who's like a student at the academy. She seems to be maybe some sort of automaton, maybe some sort of you know, cyborg, you know, that probably just lives there, you know, as a result of maybe her upbringing and whatnot. But the really interesting thing is that I kind of noticed that she has very interesting patterns in terms of how she does her stuff. So we have like a circuit board, you know, kind of coat here, but we also have like this interesting, you know, triangles, you know, belt buckles and whatnot. So this kind of looks like a piece of film. Usually, what is it, when we're doing electronic work and stuff? If you ever did like a little bit of electronic engineering, and there's also these weird patterns in the back. But the thing is, it's trying to mimic a circuit board, but the interesting thing is that it's not really a circuit board. It almost looks like you know, something you would find in a temple. So that's super duper interesting. You know, she even has sort of that countryside feel, you know, when it comes to like the you know, sort of like I don't know, I don't think it's a bonnet, right? But like, you guys know what I mean, where it's like a piece of cloth on your hair, and then she has ribbons laced with metal, so you know, it gives that vibe. But yeah, lots of, you know, triangles, what is it, whatnot, makes it kind of feel like it's from something ancient. Now this one's really interesting right here, this little you know, pouch of sorts. I'm sure it's probably just some, yeah, it's some zipper pouch that she's holding, but it's got ram horns and a gear on it, so that's really cool. Also love the braiding on this thing for the you know, jacket tie. What is it, you got the little beads going all the way down. That's really nice. What is it, in terms of what they're trying to achieve with this design. She really is one of the most unique designs. But that's what I want to say about it for the most part. You know, for Sigrika, what is it, should the expectation overflow? So, you know, maybe she has a lot of expectations on herself. What is it, not too much to put there, but I really do find it interesting, the situation with these sort of patterns that are coming up, because these are clearly mimicking some sort of ancient what is it, some ancient civilization of the past. So maybe she's a recovered robot or something of the sorts from the past. That would be really cool. But you know, out of her, you know, she's definitely the most different design. Now we get to the most extreme design of it, and our penultimate character when talking about these 5 character drip marketings for Lahai-Roi. But should that light be reachable? And oh man, if this is not the most overt you know, statement to be who is probably the main character of this region, being Mornye. Let me see, what is it, Mornye. Yes, Mornye. So this is awesome. So first off, I mean, I really like you know, all the, just the general silhouette is very nice. Unlike every other character who's like forced to stand up, you know, she's sitting down you know, on some sort of platform. And again, she's definitely special because dang girl, you a ghost. She is most likely similar to Shorekeeper, a synthetic being, because she even has she does have a tacit mark you know, on her body, but you know, her legs are not real. The concept of legs, bro, like they're not real, on God. You know, also the hairstyle is very nice. I do like what they're doing up here. You know, it's got some funny triangle attachments, also an angel halo. You know, the sorts, hey, what is it, who was the main character, an angel halo last time? I don't know, guys, I'm just saying she might be really important. What is it, you know, she's doing some research over here. She has the ID card, so once again, a higher ranking official, the barcode, you know, that a lot of these characters share. what is it? And I think the biggest thing is, of course, just the space motif in the background. She has the phases of some sort of planet, could be the moon, could be the stars, and whatnot. And what is she researching over here? Just some jibber jabber, nothing that we can actually read, but it's some sort of iso field. You know, this is the same shape they used for like the super energy source in Titanfall 2, so that's also, you know, just fun things in science and whatnot. And, you know, once again, this pattern here is more akin to leather, so it's very different from Sigrika. What is it, where she's more, what is it, these are this flat triangle shape is you know, way more like pieces that you use in electronics. What is it, so that's another interesting distinction to point out when we're talking about Mornye instead. But yeah, this is the main character. This is probably the main character of the region, most likely. You know, or it could be a Carlotta situation of whatnot, but I actually do suspect, and I want to say that I don't think this region is going to get that many more characters. I suspect Lahai-Roi is not going to be a really long region based on what we know about it, because of course, you know, spoilers, Lahai-Roi has already been confirmed to not have a sentinel of sorts, so, and it's also trapped inside a storm, so it's going to be you know, pretty isolated from the world. And I don't suspect we'd stay in a place like that for too long. You know, how many characters can you really generate? But at the same time, I mean, man, we started over here in Rinascita, only these 5, and we got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 characters, count it, my goodness. But yeah, Mornye's got some really interesting stuff going on. She also looks like Cassivir from Fire Emblem Heroes, if anyone knows that one. So I'm quite partial to this kind of hair, although she does have it go long all the way down, so that is a little bit different. But this, you know, general design stuff does look very, very nice. What is it overall? So that's our full cast for Lahai-Roi. I would say that my favorite is absolutely LYNAE. What is it? And then that goes to Luke, and then Lucille, and then these two I would kind of have to think about it, but they have very interesting stuff. I think they're going to be very relevant to the plot. But otherwise, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual trailer itself now that we have a little more context of where we're heading into. So special record, the Spacetrek collective of Startorch Academy, and those should ring some bells if you were playing the quest last time, because those are all terms that we learned while playing. Oh my god, I feel like I'm on a Disney ride. All right, space, Lahai-Roi reactor drive. The Royal Frostlands. Yeah, Starwise Academy, Starwide Research Institute. Okay. All right. A lot of uplifting talk. There's that orb we're looking into. Interesting. Firebringer, cool. Simulation. Oh, cool. We're seeing parts of their lab. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the two X's as well on who's collaborating for the Spacetrek Collective and Startorch Academy. Of course, the Spacetrek Collective being the team that primarily does space research, you know, multinational organization, and also built Startorch Academy. So this is sort of the crossover. So it's going to be really interesting because Startorch Academy is clearly attached to this place, because I mean, first off, you know, we don't get to see it visually, but this place, you know, that we're going to in Lahai-Roi, you know, not only has no god, but is literally buried under ice. You know, so most of these labs are going to be underground. You know, I find that really interesting, actually. You know, maybe it was just a convenient location, you know, that they could do kind of stuff, but I do wonder if they specifically built a space station there because it's incredibly isolated. No one's going to bother you, basically. You know, because, you know, in our real world, you know, we have our space stations and whatnot, but I think in a world like Wuthering Waves, where there are all kinds of monstrous threats, you want to be kind of isolated when you're doing space research. It's very dangerous. You know, deploying rockets and stuff, you know, could totally crash, burn, explode, etc. And especially with, you know, what they're possibly fueling it with, you know, that can also be a factor. But we're going to keep taking a few scrolls here. So we have, obviously, a rocket ship. What is it, of sorts. This, see, that once again, this is really interesting. This is the one frame in the video where it kind of goes like this, and it is the same texture, what is it, as a circuit board of sorts, You know, this is the kind of this is the obviously in a straight line, obviously, where you would see these kind of engravings on a circuit board to tell you know, where the thing is going where. But this interesting light comes in only for a second, because majority of this trailer is actually monochrome. What is it? And right here that you see that, you know, this sort of color breathes in, and not only are these not very you know, straight lines, they're very angular, very patterner, you know, of sorts. And this again kind of feeds into the idea that there might be some sort of, like, you know, ancient technology buried inside Lahai-Roi, because also, you know, we have Sigrika. You know, like I said, I have a suspicion that she is probably some sort of, you know, ancient being, or at least ancient, outfitted with ancient technology, being some sort of cyborg. And, you know, this is the first time in the trailer that we have that sort of glimpse, you know, at that. But looking forward, you know, to the other frames, so we have, what is it? This looks like, you know, I thought this was like the head of like a mech suit, but this definitely more looks like the landing of a spaceship on like a planetoid or something. You know, it would be cool if this was the head of a mech and we have to fight it, but and it's not happening, guys. That's not it. Yeah, some other things. So we do have a body here. What is it? So it is still possible. What is it? If I want to slowly go through the frames. Yeah, because we have that, and then we have some sort of like spinal cord. What is it? You know, looking a lot like, I mean, more like real human cables of sorts. What is it? It's the bad wire management of human stuff. Where there's a spine, there's a belt. So actually, you know, it could be an actual being. To be honest, what is it? Yeah, but it runs down and then it flashes out. Do I get to see, like, you know, legs maybe or something? Guys, where's his legs? Where's his thighs? I do kind of see the motif of an arm here, but it's too much to look into. That's something you can't really solidifyly say. What is it? Spacetrek related to Star Wars Riseway. So this is probably going to be one of the explorable areas. It looks a lot like the tower we saw in Rinascita when it came to Adverto Vault on the bottom of it. I would hope this is not a rocket ship, because that doesn't fly. What is it? But it is a launching area for, you know, some sort of rocket. So, you know, something, it's just the visuals, you know, it makes it look really creepy, but this definitely is some sort of skyward tower of sorts inside the area. The Skyward Riseway. Here we are now in the Research Institute, you know, very space-like. We got some windows, a very tight corridored area. Let's see what machines that we have in here. What is it? Yeah, this one, you know, a little bit of film grain. So again, there's little bits and pieces of here. You know, we have this discoloration, this glitchiness, you know, in the film. You know, maybe you know, despite everything, you know, the waveform phenomena just fucks over any piece of electronics. So what is it? Yeah, a lot more of the talk. What is it that they kind of give? Here's the actual Startorch Academy. So this is really cool. We have you know, some sort of like greenhouse situation over here with these you know, observation domes. Very common fantasy trope. You know, Final Fantasy uses these things all the time. What is it? And then we have, you know, some other testing areas, maybe like, you know, a little sports area. But this is the actual Startorch Academy, so that's awesome. What is it? Yep. And then here, exogenesis labs. Yeah, so here now we have stuff out here. Like I said, it's usually some sort of testing field. We have all kinds of things, you know, kind of light panels that reflect light. What is it? Or contain whatever it's inside. So that's super cool. What is it? And then here's the one that's the actual rocket, Void Watch Tower. What is it? Currently they're undergoing the Void Storm. So maybe this is the place where they make sure you know, nothing's fucking up out there. Tactical Proving Grounds. What is it? Hologram simulator. It looks almost exactly like Final Fantasy VII's thing. Simulator cockpit for the you know, space thing, and then of course we, you know, see the characters, yada yada yada. What is it? We are the Shepherds of Fire. What is it? And this one more thing. Together. Yeah. I think they talk about following the torchbearer. What is it? Which is really interesting because the, you know, it sounded like kind of like the flame bearer, the torch bearer. What is it? To light a spark. What is in here could kind of be the deal that's going on. They're probably trying to figure out some way around the void storm, trying to figure out some breakthrough in space technology, which is super necessary, you know, for the game. You know, Shang Liao's dad is already up there, you know, at the limits of the universe, so that's super duper cool. Yeah, but it's a very metaphorical trailer, you know, a lot of like tiny details to pick out, and I hope I did justice by picking out some of the stuff. Obviously not super sciencely tuned, you know, but with the visuals I can definitely pick out some stuff with looking at it. So, you know, that's Pretty cool. It's a lot like the Black Shores trailer where we kind of didn't really have you know, a lot directly said to you. It's kind of more like what is it, they're just gonna tell you what is it, you know, there's visual things that you can kind of pick up on taking a look at the new region. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all we have for all these characters. You know, I tried to keep it as brief as possible, but you know, make sure I capture all the details, you know, for these guys, because you know, it's just so amazing to be here. And I'm sure we're going to be getting a trailer at the Game Awards itself, you know, so be sure to check that out when I eventually upload that. But this is super exciting, you know, and I hope I've, you know, taken a pretty good look at this. I absolutely want to get LYNAE off rip, and then what is it, probably look just depends on his combat style, what is it, but he's pretty cool. And then, you know, these two will think about it. And then Lucille, oh damn, bro, Lucille's about to sell 1 million copies. Oh my, what is it? Anyway, that's gonna be it from me. So thank you guys so much for watching. And you know, we do wonder, right, if this will be all there is to come. I'm willing to predict that you will probably only get 4 or 3 more characters out of this region before we do something else. I don't suspect Lahai-Roi is going to be a very long region, just because of its positioning in Wuthering Waves, and we have so many other places to go to. So I think this is going to be not like a short chapter, but it's going to be like maybe 6 months, I want to say. I cannot imagine this thing lasts a lot longer than 6 months. So, you know, we'll definitely see if things come out. We'll probably have a story trailer, like I said, for the Game Awards. So we'll see when that happens. But you know, regardless, it's just, man, it's been a whole year. Look at how far we've come, and look at how far we're gonna go, bro. This is so cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out all the other stuff we're doing here. Chernobyl's anniversary is coming you know, tomorrow actually, so we're gonna be able to stream that, and of course the other Wuthering Waves content and analysis that we do on this channel. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.